Hey everybody, and welcome to another Bad Batch reaction here on the Canon Collector channel. This is episode number 3. Let's actually take a peek and look at it just literally says episode number 3. Is that for real? Is this real? I haven't looked at this yet. I actually did look at the description, but I didn't look at the title of this episode, and mine just says episode number 3. I don't know if that is a mistake because I'm using the Xbox One app. And it could be different amongst platforms. They could have pushed out an update. They could have just completely forgot. I don't know what this is, but yeah, it just says episode 3. That's it. First week was Aftermath. The second week was Cut and Run, and this week episode 3. Okay. Okay. Unless this is actually the episode title and there's some weird like Revenge of the Sith episode 3 stuff, but I just don't feel like we would actually call it episode 3. Like, episode 3 is a real world name that we wouldn't call a TV episode. I don't know why that feels so weird, but it does. It really does. I don't know. I gotta stop thinking about this. Anyway, I've just absolutely loved this show. I thought it was great, and I didn't necessarily know if I was gonna really enjoy it as much as I have. I think that the characters are really good, the characters are really fleshed out, and the time period is super duper interesting. Like, that is really what I'm here for. How do the clones sort of deal with all this? You know, what is the transition like between the Republic and the Empire? The first episode, like we've been talked about, was this jam-packed 70-minute monstrosity of just stuff, and I loved it, and it set everything up really good, and now I'm in a good place to take it 30 minutes by 30 minutes every Friday from here on out. Like, that's cool. If you want to give me some more, you want to do a little bigger finale or something, totally cool with that. But I am pumped for that for the next, handful of weeks. And I believe I'm wrong, because at one point in time I thought they were doing like a 20 episode sort of traditional TV model. I'm pretty sure I've heard that it's 16 episodes, so I'm not sure what that means. 16 could actually mean that the first episode, Aftermath, was actually about 3 episodes long. From what I've heard, that was about 3 episodes put together, and then Cut and Run was another episode. Those were given as screeners to some press and some other kind of critics and stuff, and they've talked about 4 episodes. So it would make sense that maybe those count to the total, or maybe they don't, and maybe that 3 extra ones that count as 1 add up and give you 2 more, so it's 18. So we're getting closer to that 20 episode mark, and then maybe you throw in a big finale. I don't know how all this is going to work out. So far, though, 2 episodes in, 70-minute episode, and then a regular episode, and it's just been phenomenal. Last week was absolutely great. I was so happy that, like, it was a small, self-contained story, but it felt so big, and it felt important for the journey of the Bad Batch and Omega. It really told that story of Hunter and Omega, and that they're kind of have this father-daughter relationship, found family kind of stuff, very Star Wars themes. And I just love how it felt like we were still moving the plot along, even though it was this kind of like Mandalorian season 1, episode 4, 5, 6 kind of small standalone story. They also were able to throw in like a cameo. It's fun, and it's fun to feel rewarded. That's the whole thing with Star Wars, with the MCU, with the DC films, whatever fandom you're a part of, Harry Potter, anything like that. Just something as small as that makes me feel rewarded. You don't have to hit me over the head with a big cameo. I don't need huge cameos all the time. I actually prefer to save them up for something big, unless they're going to be an integral part of the story. We're not getting the end of the Mandalorian level cameo thing. Like, we don't need that all the time. So I'm very happy with the way that they do this, and I almost like kind of want them to maybe throw in another cameo here in this episode, but I'm not gonna. We've gotten cameos. We got a big first episode. We got another cameo. So now I'm just gonna let them kind of tell their stories. They've ticked off some boxes, so I'm feeling good. I'm gonna let them do their thing. Not gonna have too much expectation on it. Tell your story, because I think you've been doing a really good job. But I just want some more little nuggets, some more juicy details, and I think that's what they did really well in the last episode. In episode 2, smaller episode, you have a cameo, but you also had some big stuff being set up. Chain codes. Chain codes were finally like, this is when they started. Like, we know where they come from. That is a big universe building thing. That shows us kind of where we are in the timeline, where these things came from. Just give me something like that again, and I'm totally happy, because it's not this big fan servicey thing. It's just this small little nugget for me, for the super nerds who want to know what the hell a chain code is, where it came from, what you're trying to tell with that, because we heard about it in The Mandalorian. We've heard about it, and I don't know if we've actually heard about it in any other medium other than The Mandalorian. Have we heard about it in any other medium other than The Mandalorian? I'm going to do my research before I put this into the video. Anyway, I love stuff like that. I love seeing when that started. I could honestly just gush about this show for a long time. But last week, we kind of made the decision that Omega and Hunter are going to be a team. Omega's going to kind of join the Bad Batch. She's going to be with him. She's not going to go off somewhere else. She's a full-on member of this organization. Now I feel like for this episode, we've set all that up. We got the team kind of set up. We got the villains set up in Tarkin and in Crosshair. Now I want to see kind of like, what is our actual mission? Like, we're running from the villains. Are we trying to turn Crosshair back to the light side? You know, are we trying to take down the Empire? Are we just trying to figure out what's going on with Order 66? Or is there a complete other sort of journey? Are we going to join Saw in the Rebels? Are we going to just like help people on random desolate moons? Like, what's our purpose? What's the goal of this show? And that's really what I'm interested in seeing now, because I think that the third episode has a good opportunity to like set the rest of that up. I won't be upset if this is just a small contained little story, but I hope that it leads and it builds to kind of a bigger picture. So if we could get something right now that really shows us where the trajectory of the rest of the show goes, I will be very, very, very pleased with this first 3 episodes. We'll call it 6 because the first one was, or we'll call it 5 because the first one was about 3. After that, if we can set up what the big overall goal of this thing is, like, what are we actually doing? What's the actual mission here other than having Omega? Or is that the mission? Like, what is the big mission? We've set up the team, we've set up the characters, now set up what the big overall mission for the Bad Batch is going to be. We can do that today. You can do whatever you want in episode 4. I really feel like after you give me that little nugget, now you can take your time. That's why the season 1 of The Mandalorian works still, even though it was a little frustrating. That aside, give me that today and we're gonna be in a good spot. So let's just dive into this episode 3, entitled Episode 3. Here we go. Boom. Disney Plus. The Bad Batch. Replacements is the actual title. Okay. And again, we're in hyperspace. That's interesting. I wonder if this is gonna be a theme or not. I like that gonk droid. I think that's funny. Can that just be in the rest, like, it should be in the show for the rest of the series. And then it dies, and then it's like really tragic. That would be fun. Sad, but fun. Ooh, okay, so we're testing inhibitor chips. Oh, probably compromised now, fellas. Wow. You just dropped right out of hyperspace. Do you get shot down? Or was that the actual ship itself did that? Oh man, I know that feel, Wrecker. As a big boy, I've been on many roller coasters that don't quite fit over the big shoulders. Oh, Gonk! Oh no, our Gonk friend. He actually legitimately makes me laugh in this show. Well, it blew. The capacitor blew, right? Isn't that what you said? Yeah, it sustained damage. Oh. Dude, she should become like the new Crosshair. It should be like she's like Hawkeye. Take on the mantle. Okay. See, that's exactly what I was asking for. Like, you're setting it up a little bit, and maybe that's not the total thing, right? But it definitely is an element. Okay, and we're going back. I love this. This is good. Oh, I love this. I needed this. Rampart? Who is Rampart? Is he somebody I should know? War Mantle. Project War Mantle. New recruits. War Mantle. Dark Troopers? Or are we like looking at Stormtroopers? Death Troopers? What are you? Okay. So he's got a squad now. He's got his own Bad Batch. He has like a dark version of the Bad Batch. That's really cool. That's kind of really smart. It'd be interesting to see if they have things similar to them, to the Bad Batch. If Crosshair's new crew has things similar to the Bad Batch, or if it's just a generic soldiery sort of a thing. Either way, I think works for me. This is getting interesting. Now we're here, and I feel like this is Desolate Moon. Come on, we're gonna see something familiar. We're definitely seeing something familiar here. There's evil afoot. Evil! Evil! Oh man, what was that? Ooh, he getting scratched up. They like capacitors. They like batteries. Oh boy. We've seen this before. How many times are we gonna be in a cockpit of a ship and then a big animal? Big creature. Alright, tell me more about these soldiers. Oh, yeah, this is good. We're even humanizing the Empire a little bit, and I really like that. At least some of the soldiers, it makes you understand. Makes you understand why they might join and be supportive of the Empire. Because, yeah, the Republic was kind of garbage. The Jedi were kind of garbage. Let's not lie. And I hope, too, that every episode she comes up between, like, she finds a new element. I really hope that Omega finds a new thing that she's like, what is this? That's water. That's sand. That's grass. Well, water, she probably knows what water is. Camino's, that's all it is. There we go. There it is. There's our mission. We are going to get Crosshair back. I love it. Cool. Done. That's all I need. Oh, here we go. Getting more rebel stuff, too. I like this. Oh, shit. They're going after them. Oh, no. I actually don't like this. No. Well, we know Saw lives. For now. Ah, man, they are gonna wipe them clean. This sucks. Yo, you think we're gonna ever see Jyn? You think we're gonna see Jyn Erso in this show? Where does this line up in the time? Like, this is right after Order 66, so I'm sure there's a little time. But is Galen Erso working on the Death Star at this point? I gotta read Catalyst. We gotta hurry up with this timeline binge so we can get to Catalyst, man. Ooh, baby. Hopefully that's got the answers. Hopefully Catalyst will tell us what's what, but I wonder. That it'll be a real fun shock if we see Galen. Oh, yo. Oh, are you going to give me some more of this little... Does she have the Force? Fine with... Oh, she's got like... Is that a flashlight? So it kind of looks like a saber. Is that what you're alluding to right now? I see what you're doing. I think I see what you're doing. And I like it. The Force theme plus a flashlight? You kidding me? Okay. I'm starting to buy into this. Wow, they are just... Oh, shit. What is this place? There's nothing you guys can do? Oh, jeez. That was dark, man. Oh, jeez. I like this guy. Oh, dude. Ooh, wow, okay. Yo. Dude. Oh, you're not gonna flame him to death, are you? Yeah. Wow. Wow. And I just realized, like, his helmet looks visually different than theirs. I'd love to compare it to a clone helmet to see if there are more similarities to a clone helmet than maybe theirs are with a stormtrooper, or if it's just because it doesn't totally look like a clone's helmet totally. It does look more like a stormtrooper helmet, so I'm just thinking that that is a way to differentiate between the two. But like, I love that detail. I love that. Use the Force, girl. You got the Force. Use it. Just use it. Oh, he just doesn't like light, poor little guy. Yeah, have the flashlight instead. He's just like a cat. They love electricity. Okay. I like that. I didn't have to use it. I see what you're doing. I'm loving it. I'm loving this. Light side story is really good, and the dark side story in this episode I think is even better. Admiral. I like this. I really like this villain setup right now. That's something we didn't get in the last episode. Happy for it now. Django. Ooh. Oh. What are we working on right now? There's so many ways they could go about this right now, and I'm all for it. I think this show, we'll talk about it later, but this show is going to set up some crazy stuff. I can already tell. Just in a look, they're humanizing him too. Like, there's still something working in there. He's not all the Chip is maybe making him to be. You know what I mean? Like, there's Crosshair's still underneath there. Oh, did he make her a room? Oh, that's awesome. I love Wrecker. That's so cool. Oh, and he put the... I didn't realize he put the stuffed doll thing in there. Oh, man. That's so cute. She's earned her stripes. I love it. I loved it. I loved it. Yeah, that was so good. Like, there was nothing crazy big that happened, but it was perfect. I thought that was the exact next right chapter in this story. Oh, MCU, you've given me so much stress that I have to look at like every frame of this show to make sure that there's no post-credit scenes. It's so stupid. It's so dumb. But I have to now. I literally have to. Everything. Ooh, we should actually go back here and look at the casting, because I want to see who the now Admiral was. Oh, so he was the hologram in Cut and Run in the last episode. Okay, so he's not in anything else. But my guess would be, right, so he was in that first one, so that makes sense why the reveal would be the reveal. He was working on the chain code, so he was a part of all that. I just feel like they are very much setting him up, and I mean, he's definitely going to be a member of the bad organization and the bad guys throughout this, so maybe we don't have to have Tarkin in every episode. He's kind of a surrogate for Tarkin. I don't know how the setup is for that. I don't know how we feel about that, because like, I was kind of hoping that we wouldn't have too many layers to the top. Like, I would really like to have Tarkin be one of the main bad guys. Like, you have Crosshair as like the actual bad guy, and Crosshair has minions, right? So that flows down here, but then above Crosshair would be Tarkin. And then I was hoping that like the way that they could set it up is that the, you know, above Tarkin is Palpy or Vader, however you want to look at it. It's more like Palpy with a side of Vader. So I was kind of hoping that the Emperor might appear more than just kind of, you know, clipped out stuff from Revenge of the Sith. Totally fine getting that too, but it would be nice to have the Emperor be a part of it. And now I'm kind of thinking that maybe they're putting in another layer, so that it's Crosshair is going to talk to the Admiral, and then the Admiral's going to talk to Tarkin, and then Tarkin will talk to Palpatine. So maybe we get Palpatine at some point. Maybe that's just not a part of this show. I don't really know. Having the chain codes kind of be brought up multiple times makes me think that that's going to be a through line in the story, and I'm interested to see where it goes. Or it could be setting up for something else, and not just because of Filoni's involvement, but I think all of Star Wars is going to get smarter and is going to be integrating a lot of stories within each other. I think that's just the smartest thing to do right now. And it makes sense that Filoni might be putting in some things that we've heard from Mandalorian and vice versa, and kind of meshing all of that to make it a more fluid universe. It just makes sense because it's coming from one person. But I think all of Star Wars really needs to be doing that. And I think that is kind of their best bet on like fan servicey, not fan servicey stuff. I think that's how you service the fans without making the people who aren't super fans feel like it's fan service, because nobody knows what chain codes are, or it just becomes the vernacular of Star Wars. Like, that's what it was. People heard that in The Mandalorian. You think anybody thought twice of it? Nobody thought twice of it. We might have as Star Wars fans, but nobody else thought about it a second time. Anyway, this was perfect. This gave me exactly what I was talking about at the beginning of this. I wanted to know what the rest of the show was going to be and start setting a lot of that up. And they did an amazing job of doing that, because now we know that they still have this, like, it solidified things from last episode, right? Like, it tied up some of the stuff from last episode, where it's like Omega's a part of the crew now. Like, she's a part of the crew. Enough so that they almost tease and hint that, like, she's taking over for Crosshair. But then on the Crosshair side, on the villain side, we're starting to see that grow, and we're starting to see him have his own team. We're starting to see, the inner workings of the Empire and what's going on with this army. I guarantee by the end of the show, we're going to see kind of how full-fledged stormtroopers became a thing. That's awesome. Like, that's really cool. And we're getting to see, the Kaminoans, like, start to work against them and what they're doing and how they feel transitioning from clones to stormtroopers. It all makes total sense. This is just giving a lot of setup for the future, and that's exactly what I want from these episodes. Like, right now, I think it's crucial. This episode was crucial to set up the rest of what's going on. If we don't have that right now and we just went on a side mission on a moon somewhere, that wouldn't have been a lot of fun. You would just feel like, what is happening? Like, where is this show actually going? And they didn't do that here. They really, really nailed it. I feel like they did a fantastic job of being like, and not full out saying like, we're going to go save Crosshair. Like, we're going to go do it. But it's like, you can see in just a couple comments from Omega that, like, yeah, let's go. We can go save him. And there's no mission. There's nothing set in stone right now. But we know that that's coming. So, okay, let's keep going on. Maybe they find somewhere to, like, settle down and regroup for a while. Maybe Crosshair comes after him, and then they're kind of just avoiding him for a while. Maybe while they figure things out, build up forces, or, I don't know what the overall game plan is going to be, but I see where they're going. I see where the end game is, at least for maybe the end of, like, season 2. If we're going to go on, like, a 4-season structure and then kind of play it by year from there, that would make sense. Season 2, we get Crosshair back, and then we take down the bigger bad of everything else. We set that up at the same time as we're dealing with Crosshair, and then we get Crosshair back, and then Crosshair's going up against his old boss. So it could be this Admiral who we're going to take out. That could be what they're trying to build up to and lead up to. But I really was kind of hoping that it would be more Tarkin. Just because I want to see Tarkin in the show. I just think that would be really good. Not like a gutsy move to maybe necessarily do that, but it feels a little more like, okay, like you're playing with, like, real Star Wars IP. Like, you're playing with the big dogs. Like, Tarkin's in here. This is all legit now. So, like, that feels good. When they play with big IP, it feels really, I keep saying big IP, big characters. When Rebels had Obi-Wan Kenobi in the show, then it's like, okay, cool. Like, you're doing some real stuff. When they had Maul in the show, Maul's actually a better example. Maul and Ahsoka are better examples from Rebels, where it was like, let's take big characters. Let's make them important to the show. Obi-Wan is like mega level character, and you just had him in for one episode, and it's like, oh, you made it count. But now that I'm thinking about that, okay, it's not as like he's just popping in and he's popping out. It feels more like the Leia stuff and the Lando stuff that we had in that show. But when you're playing with characters like Maul, like Ahsoka, it makes it feel a little more like, okay, here we go. Like, this is really concrete. So, like, give me more Tarkin. Give me more Tarkin. Don't replace it with this Admiral. Have them both be working together. You can have Tarkin go off. Maybe every other episode he shows up, but I don't want him to be like a one and done here and then he's gone. You know, I really need him to have some weight in this show. And then the surprise, like, he's here. Oh my God, that's Palpatine, man. Like, then bring in Palps. I can't wait for Vader to be in this show. There's no way they're going to pass up an opportunity to not put Vader in this show. Like, they have to do that too. But, like, Palpatine and Vader, those are your big, like, let's hold on to these. But let's give you Tarkin every other week. Maybe every couple episodes he's out of it. But I don't want to see him leave just yet. I want more. Maybe every other is a good pattern, because we had the first episode, we had him. Second episode, we really didn't have him. Third episode, we got him again. So maybe he's not going to be there next week. We'll have this other Admiral kind of take the place of him. And then by the episode after that, hopefully he comes back, he does something. We'll see. We'll see how they go with the villain route. But the villain route is so cool. What are those troopers? What is going on? Is that they don't really look like Death Troopers, and this is why it's a little hard to tell. I'm not knocking the animation or the Clone Wars style at all, because I think it looks good, but it can just make me like wonder if my brain is interpreting it the way I'm supposed to or not. Like, because it kind of looked like Death Trooper looked like something that could progress that way. It's just, or at least just all black Stormtrooper-esque armor. And it's like, how much of that is the Clone Wars animation? Is it supposed to be that way or not? And it's hard to tell when you're on these like variants of that. If we're working up to something like, say, a Death Trooper or something like that, is it meant to be a progression of one of these other forms that we already know, these other troopers? Is it something like a Death Trooper? What is it? So it's just a little hard to tell with the animation style. Not knocking it, but if we saw it in live action in a progressive state to like leading up to something, then it would just make sense. Then we could just tell, oh yeah, of course, like that is what that is. But this is just a little difficult to tell, because you never know what the animation means. It's just a little tough to tell. That's my only negative, which isn't really even a negative. It's just kind of a let the story unfold. And that's actually, it's an advantage to the story, right? If that's something that you wanted to do and show us, like, maybe it's not Death Trooper, maybe it's some other form that I'm just not thinking of right now, but it's like, okay, the animation style can actually hide some stuff like that. So then we can work our way up and we can actually have an organic experience, like revealing that oh yeah, this is what that is. Like, we thought you might know, but you couldn't tell because the art was not just like live action is. So yeah, hey, that might actually work out in the end. But I don't even know if that's even remotely where they're going with this, or if they're just trying to like lead us into the Stormtrooper era and just make it cool black suits and make them a little more menacing. We'll see. And that's like, I'm just so happy to like, we'll see. I don't even necessarily need to theorize, because every episode so far has really knocked it out of the park for me. This third episode, again, this is exactly what I was saying. This is exactly what I needed. At the beginning of doing this reaction, I said that I needed more setup for the future, and it's exactly what they gave me. They knocked it out of the park again. I'm super, super happy. Yeah, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled with this. I can't wait to watch it again. And watch it with, and I advise everybody, if you are watching it again, and maybe you're watching it for your 15th time, right? And you're trying to pick up everything, here's what you got to do. A lot of people put on subtitles. People know that trick. Put on subtitles to make sure that you're hearing every little thing. And there's sometimes little, like, they'll add in something that happened in the background or something, like that you don't really catch just from listening. So the subtitles help. So that is important. But, and I don't even know if this has this, but most shows have a descriptive audio feature in the audio settings, and what kind of language you want to listen to it in. The descriptive audio feature is incredible, because there are different things in even the subtitles that have, it'll tell you what's going on. It'll give you little things. It'll just name things, right? Like, there are certain objects and certain things that people pick up that, like, maybe you don't know the name of it, or maybe nobody knows the name of it. Maybe it's the first time, that thing has actually been named. And sometimes that kind of stuff is in the audio description. So listen to that, for people with visual impairments is usually what it's for. But hey, guys, use that. It's there. It's a resource for you. Use it to figure out what's happening next, and then comment below and tell me what you think is going to happen, because there's like 9 different directions, man, and there's like so many things that could go on with the show. So please, if you find anything in the audio descriptions that I'm not thinking of, you've seen anything in this episode that I'm not mentioning, comment below, please. Well, anyway, that's pretty much it for right now. Now that there's like a good chunk of stuff to run through, really want to kind of have a little mini movie night and run through all this stuff and start thinking about it for episode 4 next week, which I can't wait for. And make sure that you subscribe to our channel, The Canon Collector, here on YouTube, to be updated when we post up our reaction for that episode next week. Because yes, we will be doing reactions for each and every episode of this first season of The Bad Batch and beyond. So definitely make sure to subscribe. Make sure to hit the little belly thing. Is the belly thing still a thing? Is that still a thing? Hit the notification thing. I don't know. Just what you should do is take the YouTube page and make it your home page on your default web browser, on your phone, on your computer, however you search things. Just make it your default page. And then you'll see us every day. So you'll know when we post up new stuff. So it's never going to be a shock for you. That's the best bet. But a second would be subscribing. And as well, make sure to like this video if you did like our reaction and review today. And please, like I said, comment below. Please let me know what you think's going on here. Where you think all these different things are going to lead. Because it's like a choose your own adventure right now. There's a lot of different paths this show could go down. And I want to know what you think and where you think things will go. If you think some of the things I'm talking about are completely ridiculous and crazy, if you think they might be able to happen, do you think we're going to see Grogu in the show at some point? I really, really want to see a Clone Wars animated Grogu. And that's why I think I've held this theory a little too high that Grogu might show up in this show. I'm starting to backtrack a little bit. Not necessarily backtrack, because I think it still could work, but now that we're kind of out of that whole Jedi Temple time realm, I don't see us jumping back to it. So, but I just want to see Grogu animated in the Clone Wars style. I just think it would be adorable. I think it would be so cute. It'd be huge. So many people would watch The Bad Batch if there was a little animated Grogu, and especially where we are right now with The Mandalorian and not knowing what's going to happen to that little poor boy if we're ever going to see him again. Just animate him in the show and make me happy, please. Anyway, once again, guys, make sure that you subscribe to our channel. Anyway, guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like this video and leave us a comment with your theories for the upcoming Bad Batch episode. We will see you guys in our future content. We got plot summaries, we got video game stuff, we got more of these reviews and reactions, and there's some High Republic stuff coming out in the near future, so make sure to stay tuned for some Spoiled Without Spoilers stuff and some other fun Star Wars discussions. Lots to come for the Canon Collector. Make sure to also like us on Instagram and on TikTok at The Canon Collector, and we will see you guys in the next video. As always, may the spires keep you, and may the Force be with you. See you guys next time.